안녕하십니까? 쉐도잉 100일의 기적입니다. 꾸준한 큰 목소리 쉐도잉은 여러분의 입근육 및 귀뚫기에 큰 도움이 될 것입니다. 100일간의 이 긴 여정을 저와 함께 성공적으로 마치신다면 여러분께서는 영어 말하기, 영어 듣기의 전문가가 되어 있을 겁니다. 쉐도잉 17일차 지금부터 시작하겠습니다. 원어민의 목소리를 큰 소리로 끝까지 따라하시는 것 잊지 마십시오.
Introduction. My name is Patricia. I am from a rich family. We have a big house and many nice things. I am 24 years old. I often go out with my friends. We like visiting nice cafes and talking. One sunny afternoon, my friends Clara and Sophie and I went to a new cafe in the city. The cafe was very popular and busy. There were many people talking and laughing. We found a small table near the window where we could see outside. Soon, a young man came to our table. He was our waiter for the afternoon. His name tag said Michael. He was very handsome. He had dark hair and kind blue eyes that seemed to smile. He smiled at us when he arrived, and I felt my heart beat a little faster. It was a strange feeling. Michael was very polite and professional. He asked, "Good afternoon, ladies. What can I get for you today?" My friends, Clara and Sophie, quickly ordered their usual fancy coffees, the most expensive ones on the menu. While they ordered, I looked at Michael. He looked back at me with a warm and friendly smile. He then spoke to me, "And for you, miss." His voice was pleasant and calm. I felt a little shy talking to him, but I smiled back. "I will have a simple tea, please," I said. He nodded politely. "A simple tea for a lovely lady," he said. My face felt warm, and I think I blushed a little. He was very direct, which was unusual for people I usually met. Clara and Sophie looked at each other across the table. They smiled quietly and tried not to laugh. I knew they were amused by the waiter's words and my reaction. When Michael brought our drinks a few minutes later, he placed my tea gently in front of me. He looked at me again for a moment. "I hope you enjoy your tea," he said, "and I hope to see your beautiful smile again soon." This time, Clara giggled softly, and Sophie covered her mouth with her hand. They clearly thought it was funny that a waiter was speaking to me in such a personal way, almost flirting. "Thank you, Michael," I said, trying to keep my voice normal and calm. He was handsome, yes, but he was a waiter, a working man. My friends always talked about rich boys from well-known families. Michael was just a waiter, but he was also brave to talk to me like that. He was kind. He made me feel different, special. My friends began to whisper to each other. I knew they were talking about Michael and me. They thought he was too bold for a waiter. They thought I should not like a man who worked in a cafe. But something about Michael made me very curious. He was not like the others I knew from my world. He felt real. 2. The first date. Michael came back to our table before we left the cafe. He looked directly at me. "I finish my work at 6 today," he said, his voice a little quiet. "I would like to take you out. Maybe we could walk in the park, or get a simple dinner." Clara and Sophie gasped quietly. Their eyes were wide with shock. They could not believe a waiter was asking me for a date. I looked at Michael. He was handsome and he was brave to ask. My heart was beating very fast. My friends were watching me. They thought I would say no or maybe laugh, but I did not want to laugh. I liked his courage. "Yes," I said clearly. "I would like that very much, Michael." His smile became very big and bright. "Great. I will meet you outside the cafe at 6 o'clock." He walked away quickly. Clara and Sophie immediately started talking. "Pat, are you serious?" Clara asked, her voice loud. "He is a waiter from the cafe." "He has no money," Sophie added quickly. "What will you do? What will you talk about with him?" I felt a little angry at their words. "He is a nice person," I said, "and he was brave to ask me. I want to go." "But Patricia, people will talk about you," Clara said. "Our family, your father." "Let them talk," I said firmly. I felt brave too now, like Michael. That evening, I met Michael outside the cafe. He was not wearing his work uniform anymore. He wore simple blue jeans and a clean, light shirt. He still looked very handsome to me. We decided to go for a walk in the big park nearby. It was a nice evening. We walked slowly and talked for a long time. Michael was easy to talk to. He told me about his life, about his dreams and hopes for the future. He listened very well when I talked. He asked me questions about myself. I felt very comfortable with him. I felt happy. It was a simple date, just walking and talking, but it was the best date I had ever had. Michael was kind and honest. The next day, I heard Clara and Sophie talking. I was in the next room, and they did not know I could hear them. "Can you believe Pat went on a date with that waiter?" Clara said. "She is completely crazy," Sophie replied. "Our rich Pat with a poor boy. It is a scandal for her family." They both laughed. My heart felt very cold when I heard them. They were supposed to be my friends, but they only cared about money and what other people thought. They did not care about my happiness or about Michael being a good person. I felt sad that they were like this, but their words also made me feel stronger. I realized they were superficial. Michael was kind and real. I knew my feelings for Michael were growing stronger. This simple date with him was more important to me than anything my old friends cared about. I knew I wanted to spend more time with Michael. 3. Standing up for him, Michael and I continued to see each other. We went for walks and ate simple food. It did not matter to me that he was a waiter. He was kind and honest. He made me feel happy. He was different from the rich young men I knew. One day, I went to the cafe to see Michael. I wanted to surprise him, but he was not there. I asked another waiter, "Where is Michael?" The waiter looked a little uncomfortable. "Oh," he said, "Michael was fired." I was very surprised. "Fired? Why?" I asked. The manager said he was flirting too much with the customers, the waiter explained quietly. I knew he meant me. I felt a sudden anger. Michael lost his job because of me, because he was nice to me. It was not fair. My old friends, Clara and Sophie, might think this was good. Maybe they thought I would stop seeing Michael now, but they were wrong. I asked to speak to the manager. He was a small man with a nervous face. I spoke to him directly. "Why did you fire Michael?" I asked. "Miss," the manager said, "he was not professional. He was bothering a special customer." He looked at me. He knew who I was because my family was important in the city. "He was not bothering me," I said loudly. "He was kind. I liked him." "If you fired him because of me, it is wrong. You must give him his job back." The manager looked surprised. He did not expect me to defend a waiter. "Miss, I cannot just do that," he said. "Yes, you can," I said firmly. "Michael is a good worker. If you do not rehire him, I will tell everyone that this cafe is unfair. My family and our friends will not come here again." The manager looked scared. He knew my family had power. Okay, miss," he said quickly. "I will call Michael. He can have his job back." I felt a little better. I had helped Michael. I had helped us. Later, Michael called me. He was very thankful. "You saved my job, Pat," he said. "You are wonderful." "No, Michael," I said. "It was the right thing to do. I care about you very much." This event made our relationship stronger. I knew I was falling in love with him. I knew he felt the same. My old friends, Clara and Sophie, called me less and less. I did not miss them. Michael was my true friend now, more than anyone. 4. Love grows stronger. After Michael got his job back, we spent more time together. Our love grew stronger each day. He was not just handsome and brave, he was also smart and funny. He understood me in a way no one else did. With him, I could be myself. I did not have to pretend to be the perfect rich girl. I could be just Pat. He always found ways to make me happy. Sometimes he would pick a small flower for me from the park. Sometimes he would write me a little poem on a napkin. These simple things meant more to me than expensive gifts. My old life, full of fancy parties and friends who cared about money, felt far away. Michael was my real world now. One evening, about 6 months after we first met, Michael took me to our favorite spot in the park. It was by a small lake under a big old tree. The sun was setting, and the sky was full of beautiful orange and pink colors. He seemed a little nervous. He held my hands and looked into my eyes. His blue eyes were serious, but also full of love. "Pat," he began, his voice soft. "These past few months have been the best of my life. You changed everything for me. You are kind, you are brave, you are beautiful, and you see me for who I am." My heart started to beat very fast. I felt like I knew what was coming. He then got down on one knee. He took out a small, simple box from his pocket. "Oh, Michael," I whispered. He opened the box. Inside was a simple ring. It was not a big diamond like the rings my old friends showed off. It was a delicate silver band with a tiny, sparkling stone. It was the most beautiful ring I had ever seen because I knew it came from his heart, using my full name. "I love you more than words can say. I don't have much money, but I have a heart full of love for you. Will you marry me?" Tears came to my eyes. They were happy tears. "Yes," I said, my voice shaking a little. "Yes, Michael, I will marry you." He stood up and put the ring on my finger. It fit perfectly. He kissed me, and it was the most wonderful kiss. I felt like the luckiest woman in the world. I was going to marry the man I loved, even if he was just a waiter. Money did not matter. Only love mattered. 5. Family disagreement. The next day, I told my parents about Michael's proposal. I felt very happy and thought they would be happy for me, but I was wrong. My father was sitting in his big chair. My mother stood near him. She looked worried. "Patricia," my father said. His voice was cold. "You want to marry this waiter?" "His name is Michael, father," I said. I tried to speak calmly. "And yes, I love him. We are getting married." "Love," my father shouted. He was very angry. "What do you know about love with a man who has nothing? He cannot give you the life you have now." "I don't want that life," I said. "I want Michael. He is a good man. He makes me happy." My mother spoke. Her voice was soft but sad. "Darling, think about your future. Think about our family's name. What will people say?" "I don't care what people say," I cried. I was getting angry too. "They don't know Michael. They don't know our love." My father stood up. He was a tall man and looked very serious. "If you marry this man, Patricia," he said strongly, "you will get no more money from us, not 1 penny. You will be cut off. You will see what it is like to be poor." I looked at him, then at my mother. Their faces were hard. They did not understand. "I don't care about your money," I said. My voice was shaking a little, but it was firm. "I love Michael. I will marry him. If you cannot be happy for me, then I feel sorry for you." I turned and walked out of the room. My heart felt pain. It was hard that my family could not be happy for me, but their words did not change my mind. My love for Michael was stronger than any money. I would choose him, even if it meant I had no money. I called Michael and told him everything. He was sad about my family's reaction, but he was also proud of me for standing strong. "We will face this together, Pat," he said. "Our love is enough," and I truly believed him. 6. The simple wedding. We started to plan our wedding. We wanted it to be small and simple. My parents said they would not come. They also told many of our rich family friends not to come either. So, the list of people coming was short. Michael had a few close friends. I invited a few old school friends. I did not invite Clara or Sophie. They were not true friends. We chose a small garden for the ceremony. It was very pretty. Michael said he would take care of the costs. I felt worried because I knew he did not earn much money as a waiter. He told me he had some money saved. I wanted to help, but I had no money now. My father had stopped giving me money, just as he said. On the wedding day, I was surprised. The garden looked beautiful. There were many white flowers everywhere. Michael had planned everything. My dress was also a surprise. It was a simple white dress, but it looked very nice and expensive. It looked much more expensive than a waiter could usually buy. I wondered how Michael paid for it all. Did he take a loan? I felt a little worried about the cost, but also happy that he did so much for me. As I walked slowly down the path between the flowers, I saw that the garden was not empty. Many people were there, more people than we invited. I saw many faces I knew from my parents' social life. These were the same people who liked to gossip about others. Clara and Sophie were there too. They stood at the back of the garden. They were whispering and looking. They were not invited, but they came anyway. They probably came to see the wedding of the poor waiter and to have something new to talk about later. I ignored them. I did not look at the people at the back. I looked only at Michael. He was waiting for me at the front. He looked very handsome in his simple suit. His eyes looked only at me, and they were full of love. The ceremony was short and sweet. The person marrying us spoke about love and being together. Then it was time for our promises, called vows. Michael took my hands. His hands were shaking a little, but his voice was strong when he made his promises. Then it was my turn. I, Patricia, take you, Michael, to be my husband, I said. I looked into his eyes. I promise to love you in good times and in bad times, when we have money and when we have no money. I meant these words very much, especially the part about having no money. I knew the people at the back were probably smiling to themselves. They all thought, she married a poor waiter. Now she will be poor too. I did not care what they thought. I was marrying the man I loved. That was the most important thing. 7, the big surprise. The wedding officiant smiled at us. Do you, Patricia, take Michael to be your lawfully wedded husband? He asked. I do, I said. My voice was clear and full of happiness. And do you, Michael, take Patricia to be your lawfully wedded wife? He asked Michael. I do, Michael said. His eyes looked very bright. He held my hands tightly. Then, by the power given to me, the officiant said, I now say you are husband and wife. Michael smiled widely and leaned in. He kissed me. It was a sweet, happy kiss. Our few friends who came to support us clapped loudly. I knew the other people, the uninvited ones at the back, were thinking about what they would say later. They thought I had married a poor man. Then Michael turned to face everyone. I thought he would just say thank you, but he had a strange look on his face. He looked a little nervous, but also very strong. He cleared his throat. Thank you all for being here, he said. His voice was louder and more confident than I had ever heard it. Some of you came because you love us. Some of you came to watch and maybe talk later. He looked towards the back of the garden. Clara, Sophie, and the other people who liked to gossip looked uncomfortable. They knew he meant them. You all know me as Michael, the waiter, he continued. And yes, I was a waiter. My beautiful wife, Pat, fell in love with me when she thought I was just a simple waiter. She chose me when her family said no. She chose me when her friends laughed at her. She loved me for who I am. He looked at me, and his eyes were full of love. My heart felt warm. Then he took a deep breath. But there is something I need to tell you all. And Pat, my dear wife, I need to tell you too. I am sorry I kept this a secret. I needed to be sure your love was real. The garden was very quiet. I looked at him, confused. What secret? Michael stood taller. He suddenly looked like a different person, a very important person. My full name, he said, his voice strong and clear, is Michael Constantine. I am not just a waiter. I am the owner of Constantine Global Oil. A loud sound, like one big gasp, came from the crowd. Everyone was shocked. I stared at him. My mind stopped working for a moment. Constantine Global Oil? That was a huge company. Its owner was one of the richest men in the world, a billionaire. I am not poor, Michael said, a small smile on his face. In fact, I have more money than Pat's father. Much, much more. My mouth fell open. I could not believe it. The beautiful, expensive dress, the many flowers, it all made sense now. The people at the back were completely silent. Their faces showed only surprise and disbelief. Clara and Sophie looked like they had just seen a ghost. My head was spinning. 8 new beginnings. Everyone was very surprised. People started talking quietly. My Michael, the kind waiter, was a very rich man. It was like a story from a book. Michael turned to me. His eyes looked soft and asked for forgiveness. Pat, my love, I am very sorry I did not tell you before, he said. When I first saw you, I loved your smile and your kind heart. I wanted to find someone who loved me, not my money. Many people only wanted things from me. So, I worked as a waiter to find true love, a real connection. He held my hands. And I found it with you, Pat. You loved me when you thought I had nothing. You stood up for me. You chose me over everything. Your love is the most important thing I have. Tears came to my eyes again. I was surprised, but I understood. He lied, but for a good reason. He wanted true love, and he found it with me. The people at the wedding, the ones who came to gossip, looked very ashamed. Some of them, like Clara and Sophie, spoke quietly. They said sorry. We are so sorry, Pat, Michael, we didn't know. My father and mother were there too. They looked very surprised. My father looked humbled. Patricia, Michael, I was wrong, he said. Congratulations. It was not a big apology, but it was a start. Michael smiled gently. It's okay, he said. Today is a happy day. He looked at me. Can you forgive me, Pat, for the secret? I looked into his eyes. They were the same kind eyes I loved. He was still my Michael. Money did not change his heart. Yes, I whispered. Yes, I forgive you. He smiled widely. We did not care about the gossips or their apologies anymore. We had each other. Michael said, "Now my beautiful wife and I are going on our honeymoon." A private plane was waiting for us. I was still trying to understand everything, but I felt happy and excited. My family came closer slowly. We did not stay long to talk. Michael took my hand. We walked away from the surprised people, away from the gossip, towards our new life. We flew to a beautiful island for our honeymoon. Everything was very nice. But the most important thing was being together. My kind, brave waiter was now my kind, brave, very rich husband. He was the man I loved and who loved me for me. Our amazing love story was just beginning.
여기까지입니다. 재미있으셨습니까? 구독, 좋아요, 완료 댓글은 제게 큰 힘이 됩니다. 감사합니다.